Okay guys, how's this for winding? I've measured off 105 metres of wire off our little former. Still got plenty left. So there we go. I know that's the correct length of wire. So now it's a matter of putting that on a spool of some description, and without breaking it. Boy, this 0.1 millimetre, it's a bit tricky to work with. Okay, that's the next step. And seeing this is going to be a fairly manual job, I'm just going to wind it onto an old solder spool. That should do the job. Yeah, I'd say most of this winding is going to be very manual. There'll be nothing automated about this one. Okay, let's put this lot here on here. And there it is. Boy, that's nerve-wracking that you don't actually break the wire when you're going from this little fella here. Sorry, there's not much lighting in here. Or out here rather, I'm outside. Getting that around those two nails to measure it out, and then getting this on in one piece without breaking it, being 0.1 mil. Yeah, nerve-wracking it is. It's, yeah. But anyway, now it's on here. Let's get on with the show and work out how I'm going to rewind a transformer that I've got no idea where to start. I'm not into formulas or anything. I know there was 105 metres on the other winding. That's all I'm doing. Same size wire. We're just going to give it a crack and see if it works. Okay. Why did I say that I'm going to rewind this? Anyway, as you probably saw on another video, I've run off some wire off a little motor that I had. It's 0.1 millimetre, so that's the size of the wire there that we're dealing with. Okay, you probably can't see that real well. This is the former, which I have super glued back together. This actually fell apart, as you probably saw in the previous video, or the video on the Aristone record player. Got lots of E's. Now, these are not E's and I's, these are E's and E's. So the whole thing goes together like so. Obviously, through the former, like so. So we've got to wind this with this. I've got a big bolt. How am I going to go with this? I'm thinking washer. I'll build this up with insulation tape so that this fits on neatly. Another washer to hold it in place and rotate it gently by hand with a drill. You have to be very, very gentle because that wire is pretty easily broken. So this is what I've got in mind, and I'm thinking, well, on the inside of this, I might put some masking tape to more or less to hold everything in place so that as we wind it, the masking tape will hold the wires in position. Now, along with super glue or whatever we put in there, we might put some lacquer. We'll probably do a couple of 100 turns and put some lacquer on it, let it sit for a while so that it sets in position. Otherwise, it falls off the edge. And we've got no lip on this one. It's not a cotton reel type thing. It's just a little bit of cardboard. Now this one It's actually wax paper, has a little wire that goes down in there, loops around, and we glue him down, and that is what our inside wire is connected with. I probably won't use this wire. It's been bent a few times, and the last thing I want is for this to break when we get this finished. So somehow I've got to come up with a very secure way of securing the inside end of this. Okay, so that's where we're up to. Just bear with me and I'll put some tape on this and see if we can build it up so that at least to start that this is a neat fit. As you can see, it's not too neat at the moment. I'll see how we go. A little bit of wire in here, terminated somehow and glued down into position, and then we will start winding. Now this is wound in that direction. That's how it come off. So we continue to wind with the former, which is counterclockwise. Okay, so I don't know whether this is going to work, but I reckon it's worth giving a go. I think it might. Okay, let's run with this. Right, well, this is where we're up to. Not sure I can get the lighting in the right place there. Yeah, right behind the camera. There we go. That's a bit better. This is where we're up to, which is not much progress. I've got some yellow and blue wire, captain tape, transformer tape. Now, I've got to wind it on this. Very difficult to wind with no edge. So what I've done, got myself an old strawberry container, punched out a couple of rings, and I'm going to super glue those on either side. They're very thin and it does fit. This can be trimmed when I'm finished to fit in the ease of the transformer. So next job is to attach say our blue wire. I'm going for the blue wire center. And mind you, both these windings, I'm winding the same way. I don't know whether that's correct or not. I might have to do a bit of research. But I've got to connect this wire onto this fella and then super glue it in here, put this fella on, and where he comes out, put a tiny hole, just drill a tiny hole and bring the wire out the side so we can go up the side. So yeah, that's sort of what I've got to do. I've got to bring it out so it doesn't actually get squashed when it goes into the transformer. So it's got to come out of the edge of the E, the center of the E, not up here, because there's a bit of a gap there. So let's see. Let's see how all this is going to work. I've super glued this thing together and it's holding quite nicely. Let's see here. This is roughly how it's going to be. Yeah, there's another couple in there yet. Let's put another one in. Will he fit in? No. Okay, so that's how it goes. The wire I want brought out through this top end of the transformer. So that's when I'm doing this. When I drill a little hole there, the wire will come out the center. Now, I haven't done these transformers before. I've never rewound a transformer. All I want to do is experiment and see, does this work? One thing I do have to find out now is, do we wind the secondary the same direction as the first? I'm guessing you do, for phasing problems, so forth, or is it in reverse? But anyway, that's only a matter of finding that out. What we've got to do now, get this blue wire and attach him in underneath this, not in a spot where the old corrosion was. In under here, attach him and super glue it all together, and a little bit of tape around the bottom so that it holds all tight. Then we can start winding. Now I've soldered the end on there, doubled him over, super glued this wire into place, and he's doubled in underneath there. Put some tape around the direction that I'm going to wind. So that's what he looks like. Now put these ends on so I can actually wind the wire without it falling off the end of the former. I hope this all works. This one, I have to drill a very small hole in there to get that wire through before I super glue him on. Okay, so that's what's happening now. I hope that's close enough for you. It's not a... There you go. Lean the old tripod over a bit, but yeah, that's what I'm doing. Just a little hole to let the blue wire out, and yeah, he can go up the side. Ends are glued on. We've got to wind clockwise direction. We're dealing with the wire. I've got to put something through here so that makes sure I can sense the tension, because this wire really doesn't take much to break it. Not much tension on it. This is what I've done so far. She's wound on, as you saw with my fancy coil winder. It wasn't too fancy, and it all looks okay. Oh, it's all coming up okay. I brought the leads out through a couple of holes just in the side of our perspex there. Got some transformer tape around it, but also what I'm going to do now, which I've got some of the old wax paper, also because that's a high voltage winding, so before I put the top layer on, which is only a few turns of heavier wire, but that's your speaker winding, I'm going to put this back in here, I think, and yeah, and yeah, just for a little bit more insulation. Yeah, there's a little bit along the edge there that I've got to cover up, that we certainly don't want this winding going down, but that's yeah, just makes it a little bit nicer. As far as fitting, everything is okay. I do have to cut out the center there, and everything should fit in quite nicely. There's plenty of space there, so yeah. Okay, so we'll get this in, put a little bit more or a couple of turns of transformer tape. Then let's wind the secondary, and yeah, we can actually put some signals through it once we get these in there. Like put my audio generator through it and see what happens. Okay, the also the winding direction has to be followed, so it is both windings, both the same direction, so which is this way. So yeah, hopefully all will be good. All right, we'll try the next bit. Well, we're back. It's the next day, and after I've done this little fella, and let's see if this is going to work. I don't know whether it's going to or not, but yeah, this will be a little bit of an experiment and a challenge to see if this is going to make a noise again. Okay, let's get this into a position here where we can work on him. Now, if you've probably seen most of this on the earlier videos. Okay, what we've got here is, looks like the little transformer actually mounts on the speaker. So that's our speaker wires. We've got plenty of length on our primary. So let's find some screws, yeah, I don't know where I've put the screws yet. Okay, we'll find the screws and get this fella mounted, and then we'll test it and see if it's going to make a noise. Be incredible if it does. It's amazing what goes missing in your workshop, but there's probably 200 or 300 jobs in here, so there's a little bit to do and a little bit to keep track of. They're not the original screws, they're too long. Oh boy, I thought these were the originals, but they're not. Okay, pause the video, I'll be back. We've also got to tighten this fella up. Depending on which way around we put these, it shouldn't matter because both the secondary terminals on the speaker are isolated. They're not, one is not ground. If it was ground, we'd have to watch the phasing on this fella, but I don't think we have to with this bloke. Okay. There we go. There's speaker wires done. Now, because the other one had a blue and red wire directly across to the transformer, we haven't done that. We haven't got any tags on the transformer. So we'll do the red wire first and just connect this fella in. I'm nearly out of solder too, guys, on this reel. Better look at stocking some up. Okay. I'm sorry you guys can't see this, but all I'm doing is soldering onto the back of the circuit board. There's not much to see there. Okay. It's actually time for a test. See what happens. I'll clear away some stuff here and yeah, just pause the video while I clear some stuff here. Okay, got a meter here that we're monitoring the HT on the valve from the transformer. So we've got the variac on 100 volts to start with through the dim bulb, and let's turn him on, see what happens. Okay, he's on, dims came up, he's dropping off, all is looking okay. We've got voltage here, which is going up, going up. Okay, let's give it some volume there. We'll give him a few more volts. And we're right up to we're on what are we on there? We're on 230 volts. And let's see. Listen to that, guys. We've got audio. That's working. A little motor here wants to kick into gear as well. Okay, we don't have any audio on this one because I think the same damn problem has happened with this one. No, it hasn't. Look at this. Both channels. She's working. We've got 75 volts, which I'm not sure what it's supposed to be, but sounds good enough. Yeah. There's no smoke, which is good. Everything's working. Our little transformer, and I'll give you a closer look at the insides of this thing. There you go. She's working. Now that switch there, I don't know whether that's supposed to be. Oh, that's the motor actually. He's a little bit bent, that switch. We've got to straighten this fellow up. You can't see that. It's a little switch on the arm. This little cam comes around and puts him into gear. Now, just give it a little bit more juice. And what have we got? Actually, sounds the same. We've got 95.5 volts. HT on this, I think, is 100 volts on these fellas. So a little bit of, I thought there was a little bit of background noise there, but anyway, we're working. We'll take that off. So what's going into the transformer? Let's check this out. So that fellow there, just on 100 volts, okay, and on the plate of the valve is 95.2, which is around about right. Everything's, well, appears to be going nicely there. Now what I'm going to do, we'll just pause the video once again. I want to tighten this down before I turn it upside down, and we might, hang on, we might be able to get to the arm. Let's swing it around here. We've got a little bit of a noisy pop there, and yes, we have both channels. Both channels are working. Oh boy, this is good. Okay. I'll have to clean that pot a bit. We might give this a clean now before we go any further. Okie doke. There. There we go. That one's working nicely. And this one, he's got the 240 volt switch on him. But and he's working nicely. Okay. So I'll get this in a little bit better position here. We'll screw the board down. We'll get this turn out here a little bit better. That's not real good for a ground. All right, and we'll come back. Main thing is, transformer over here is working. Beauty. So guys, there's no excuse if you've got if you're a little bit of a Techo and you've got a little bit of patience, you can get an old girl going like this simply by using bits and pieces laying around the workshop and without a coil winder. The main thing you got to do, measure the wire and measure the length of the wire that comes out if you're going to do it at home. Righto guys, well I think we might call this video a wrap before we do the case. There's a fair bit of cleaning up and I'll show you what's got to be done to the case. Yeah, a little bit of a problem there. It's got to be fixed up. The corners, all the corners are not real good, so it's got to be glued, all cleaned up, and bits of polish and so forth. We'll do this in the next video. All this has got to be cleaned up. It's pretty messy, as you can see. But I thought, well, it's going. It is going. We have the left channel. We fixed the right channel. We have the left channel down because we've got a broken wire on our cartridge. Now I have to round up, which I think I've got actually. It's one of those the old flip over cartridges. I've got to round up a needle for that, so a stylus. So I will find it. We'll just do it in the next video. This one, this turntable, everything turns okay, but this is very, very sticky on the center. So I thought a little bit of WD-40 here at the moment. Let's spin it up and see how the channel sounds that we fixed, the new transformer. Okay, so I'll grab some WD-40, a little bit in there, around here. It's just a little bit sticky, but of course this is only a temporary measure. I'll just turn that off. This is only a temporary measure until we get everything going well with everything else. Okay, so clean 45. There we go. I do have a 45 record here. Now, as I said, this is only temporary until we can fix up the other bits and pieces. There's a rubber little rubber grommet supposed to be in the back of this arm, and he's falling apart also. So I don't know whether this is going to work, but oh yeah, okay, well, we better not play too much of that. And as you can hear, she's working nicely. And considering the stylus is on an angle, this isn't sitting properly, it works. Okay, so we'll call this quits now, and we'll be back very soon once I start doing the cabinet. There's 3 projects going at once here, so I sort of want to share it up a little bit and, yeah, just make videos not so long, a little bit more interesting, and, yeah, we'll go from there. All right, so that'll wrap this one up. If you like it, give us a thumbs up. Any comments are welcome. As I said, the transformer rewind, yeah, it's just a layman's job. It's that's the first transformer I've ever rewound, and I thought we'll give it a crack and see if it works, and it does. So yeah, you can do it at home to get something going. Please remember to subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll be notified as soon as the next video comes up. This one won't be too far away when we do part 2 of this, just for the case and cleaning him up, and our cartridge well, yeah, fixer-upper. Okay then, until then, bye for now.